Hello, and welcome back. As you can see, we're here once again in the grow room. I don't have my plant on this side again. I like to move stuff around. So what's this talk going to be about? To be honest, I had an idea. It completely slipped my mind. So I think I might just wing it a little bit. And maybe it'll come back, maybe not. And there it is. So throughout my journey, throughout my process, throughout the years that I've been, a few years that I've been really diving deep, as Ralph Smart would say, infinite waters, into my being, into my experience as this person, I found there are a few things you can do, a few things you can bring your awareness to. And if you want, there's a few practices. And I guess this is kind of what this video is going to be about. There's a few types of things you can do that help a person to shift their state of awareness. And although it's not about trying to always feel good, it also doesn't make sense to stay in a negative state if you can do something about it. I talk a lot about accepting your state of being and your state of mind, and that you don't need to do anything about it. But also, if you feel an urge to shift from the negative to the positive, you also don't have to stop that either. You can allow that to manifest too. And just to clarify quickly, when I talk about not doing and not, just letting yourself be, it's more so that you don't feel guilty about what you could have done. It helps you to dissolve the conflict that may come from maybe I didn't do the right thing and that sort of thing. So it just helps to create a smoother surface for you to explore yourself in. So techniques, there's a few types of, and I don't like giving techniques. I need to stress every time that I say this about techniques, it's not something that you apply to run away from a state of being. If you're feeling, because sometimes when you feel bad, it's for a reason. And if you don't pay attention to your inner state as it's coming through you, as you experience it, you're going to miss something. There's a lesson there. There's something. Sometimes you need to feel that pain, but also sometimes you've got enough, and your energy's at an all-time low, and you need a break, and that's okay too. And that's what this video is about: how to find a little bit of rest in the storm. Sometimes opening up an umbrella when it's raining too hard is okay. So one of the things that I've noticed that is extremely powerful is watching the contractions in your body related to your states of inner consciousness, to your states of consciousness. Noticing, for example, when you're angry, are you clenching your teeth and your hands? Noticing while you're thinking certain thoughts that are uncomfortable, bringing your attention into the body. And what areas of the body do you notice are contracting related to those types of thoughts? And if you're observant and you watch enough, I like to call this long looking. If you practice long looking, which means paying attention for a long period of time, enough for you to get it. For example, if you just simply watch your body for a long period of time, you look at what's going on in your body, you'll notice that there'll be a repetitive, predictable pattern of physical bodily contractions related to your thoughts. So guilt thoughts, anger thoughts, jealousy, fear, each type of emotion that you're going to feel is going to bring forth its own set of bodily reactions. And for most people, they're the same. Very much, actually, very, very similar for every person on this planet. Energy manifests very similar ways for a lot of us. But sometimes, not just sometimes, throughout this similarity, there's also going to be some differences, a few differences. And that's why you can't just read a book on this. You can, but it's not going to give you your personal experience, and you're going to miss a lot. So that's why you want to look, you want to do some practice your long looking, and look at your body related to certain uncomfortable thoughts, happy thoughts as well. And what you can do with this is there's two directions you can go about going from that negative state that I was talking about earlier, because you don't have to stay in the rain. You don't always have to. Spiritual, development is not about, staying in the pain and learning the lessons always. So you can take those negative states and shift them. Please don't use this if you feel you don't need to, and it's not about staying negative state longer than you should. Trust your intuition. You'll know when you've had enough. Okay? So here we go. When you notice the pattern and you've recognized, oh, there's that thought. Oh, there's the contraction related to that thought. You breathe into the area. So for example, if your stomach is clenching, your belly, you bring your breath into the belly, into the area specific that you notice the contractions. And this will work on a physical and energetic level. You will notice that the muscles will sometimes start to let go in that area where the contraction is. Once you breathe into that area, you're going to feel kind of like it release, and sometimes it'll kind of want to contract a bit, it'll release, it'll want to contract a bit, release, and it'll just kind of sometimes this takes a bit of time, depending on how deep you are into how personal this is, how personal your situation is to you. So, but it's extremely powerful, and it works so good. It is such a powerful technique. You breathe, it's so simple. You breathe, you bring the breath and your awareness into the area that you notice is contracting related to the area of those negative thoughts. And you'll notice those thoughts will just, all of a sudden you feel a shift in your awareness, and you don't seem to feel that bad anymore. It really is that simple. And like anything else, it tends to come back. Everything is circular. You'll notice these types of thought patterns come back in cycles. And any kind of habit of negative thought tends to be pretty difficult to break. So this is like breaking a habit, right? The thought comes in, the body contracts, bring the breath in, and just watch it dissolve. So and I mentioned there's two ways you can go about this. And that's the first method, is to notice it, Notice the breath, notice the contraction related to the thought. Bring the breath. So notice the contraction related to the thought. Bring in the breath. So that's the first of the two ways that you can use this technique. The second, and the first, let me just clarify quickly. The first is more of something you use in the moment to get you out from that negative state. So the second way you use this technique is on a regular, ongoing basis. You might not even feel negative. You might not even, notice any kind of uncomfortableness in you. But you may have done this practice a few times, and you may be doing it as a way to maintain a clear state of mind. So if you're on top of your game, if you're aware, if you're mindful, and you notice your body on a regular basis, you may want to use this technique to keep yourself clear. It's as though you're washing the window every day to prevent it from gathering too much dust, or a mirror. A lot of times, if you'll notice, if a person washes the window or your mirror every day on a regular basis, it never gets dusty. It always stays clean. You don't need to wait for the mirror to become dirty before you clean it. Although by doing this, by letting it get dirty, which is why I say often, don't do, just let yourself be. Oftentimes, you're going to notice that when you let the mirror get dirty, you can find your patterns, and then it gives you a specific way to work on releasing your negative blocks. So both ways are important. Both ways are great. But the second method is more of a maintenance. And you have to know and understand that even if you're doing maintenance, sometimes you're still going to get a splash of water on the mirror or whatever. Mistakes, these things happen in life. It's not going to always stay clear perfectly. So oftentimes people will do specific practices. You see this a lot in yoga. You see a lot of religious practices do this every day at 3 o'clock, at 3 a.m. They do meditation. Every day they have a routine of set activities that they do, meditations, prayers, or whatever that they do to keep their mirror clean. So you can do this preventative work by bringing in the breath into the body without a reason. You just go in and clear out your energy, like I'm doing now, allowing the muscles to relax. Pausing your breath. The longer you stay with this practice, the more you're going to notice the mind gets quiet. The world seems to slow down. You can hear minute sounds and details you weren't aware of. Your awareness broadens and expands. So just to sum it up, if you're caught in a storm of emotion and you feel overwhelmed and you're tired and you just are losing energy, it's not helping you anymore, bring your awareness, technique method number 1, bring your awareness to the muscles that are contracting in that moment. Bring in your breath, pause, allow the muscle to relax, Let the breath out. Pause. It's the same technique for both. Breathe in for about 4 seconds, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. But the second method, second way to use this technique is as a maintenance. So thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Hopefully this really helps you. It's helped me enormously, and I use this every single day. This is a regular technique that I use both ways. It has changed my life. Wherever you are around the world, whatever time it is when you're watching this, thank you. I appreciate you. Peace.